Today marks the final day of President Biden's four-day visit to Northern Ireland and Ireland.
The president is concluding his trip with a visit to his ancestral home. He's traveling to County Mayo, a region he has links to through his great-great-great-grandfather. The president is touring a number of places in the county before speaking outside a cathedral in the town of Ballina later today. Yesterday, he said the U.S. and Ireland, quote, stand at an inflection point.
The decisions we make now are going to determine what the next 3 or 4 decades are going to look like. They're going to lay down the path that we're going to follow. It's happened every 5, 6 generations throughout history. Things are changing. We have an opportunity to make things better or lay back and let events determine what we're going to do.
Roughly 20,000 people are expected to line the streets of Ballina for the president's speech later today.
Joining us now from Dublin is CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe. Ed, good to talk to you. So what other details can you tell us about the president's visit to County Mayo today and the significance of his trip abroad as it wraps up?
That's right. This is the second day of getting to know his roots a little better. It was earlier in the week that he went to the part of Ireland where his mother's family hails from. This today is about his father's side, the Blewitts as they were known. Deep ties there across County Mayo, so much so that he still has several distant cousins who live there that he keeps in touch with. He just wrapped up a visit a little while ago, for example, to a hospice center that was established or is helped run by one of his distant cousins who had placed a plaque in memory of Beau Biden. Then private citizen Joe Biden visited in 2017 as the place was opening and promised that he would come back one day. Well, he came today as president, giving that center obviously a lot more attention than it may have ultimately thought it would ever get. Earlier in the day, stopped in Knock, which is a Catholic pilgrimage site. There's a belief that the Virgin Mary made an apparition to about 15 believers back in 1879. More than 1.5 million pilgrims visit that site each year. So the president is an Irish Catholic, the second Irish Catholic president making that stop. And then tonight in Ballina, as you said, he's going to give this speech that's been promoted by the U.S. Embassy here in Dublin and by the White House as an opportunity to sort of celebrate Irish-American heritage, the bonds between the two countries, and the Irish spirit that really does undergird everything that President Biden has done in his public life. So, yes, today is a bit of a personal tour, but he sees this and explained yesterday he thinks it's important for Irish Americans who have connections to this country to come, to celebrate it, to understand their heritage, and to celebrate the bonds between these two countries.
So, Ed, I've got to ask about the big news happening here in the U.S. President Biden has reportedly not addressed the issue of the leaked Pentagon classified documents with the foreign officials he's spoken with this week. Why might that be?
That's right. He had a meeting on Wednesday with the British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. He met with Ireland's president and prime minister yesterday. White House says that the conversations did not include mention of this. That's partly because in some cases these leaders have other things they want to discuss. It's also because White House officials would tell you they're not still entirely certain to what extent there may be any fallout from this. Remember, yesterday the president said he hadn't seen any real concern geopolitically because there wasn't necessarily contemporaneous information in all those documents that would have caused broader worry or bigger concern or issues for the countries that have been mentioned. We'll see. The assessment continues and the extent of the leak is still being assessed, but the White House has not necessarily had him spend much time talking about it. Obviously, they've had him focused on what's going on here. Despite that, he said yesterday, while it's concerning it happened, not concerned about a broader fallout.
Ed O'Keefe reporting in Dublin. Thanks.